Welcome back to the Religious Reviews. Today's review is focused on 2021 movie entitled The Tomorrow War. And the official synopsis of The Tomorrow War is: a family man is drafted to fight in a future war where the fate of humanity relies on his ability to confront the past. Now, to me, this movie itself, it's really not that bad. You definitely do have a lot of good scenes, good moments in the movie, but also just a lot of some bad and maybe even questionable scenes in this movie, questionable choices that was made. But out of all, here is my movie review. And before I give out my review, please like and subscribe and comment. Let me know what I should review next. Here we go. What I first enjoyed about this movie would probably have to be the actors. I think that the actors that were chose for the movie did a pretty good job with how they portrayed their characters throughout the entire movie and just how they just acted on screen altogether. I would probably have to say maybe my favorite characters. I would probably have to say maybe some of my favorite characters that I enjoyed in this movie would probably have to be Chris Pratt, Dan Forrester, Yvonne Strahovski as Vicky. I really did like her character a lot. J.K. Simmons as Slade. Sam Richardson as Gator. I felt like those four characters were my favorite characters in the movie. And I would say as for the other actors that were in this movie, they all did a good job with portraying their characters. Another thing that I thought this movie did really well on was the action scenes, as there are many different missions that Chris Pratt's character, Dan, has to go through with his team and everything, and every single one of them included action. Some of them had little action, while others had a lot, and I do mean a lot of crazy action scenes. And I would say that was probably some of my favorite parts of this movie would have to be the action scenes, because a lot of them were crazy, and just how some of them ended, it was just crazy to me. Another pro that I have about this movie would probably have to be with how the monsters slash the villains look. I think that the CGI graphics for them, they're passable. And what I mean by passable, I mean that they look they look fine. They don't look like the 1990s. They don't look like early 2000s CGI. They just look like regular CGI graphics that would pass in 2021 standards. And some of the things that they do in this movie is just crazy. And just how they looked it all together, to me, they don't look bad. And the damage that they cause is just crazy to me, but not surprising. When it comes to the story, I think that the story itself is not bad. And I would say that the first thing that I did not enjoy about this movie would probably have to be the timing. Now, this movie is over 2 hours and 20 minutes long. And I felt as if this movie definitely should have been cut by at least maybe 10 to 20 minutes, because the first act of the movie was not bad. The second act of the movie was actually really well. But the third act of the movie, if I felt like it just dragged on to the point, it could have been cut for at least 10 to 20 minutes off, because after that crazy second act and what happens, I think they felt like they didn't know what to do. It could have ended right there, quite honestly, because of just how tense it got. And so that was the first thing I did not like about this movie. The second thing that I did not like about this movie would probably have to be maybe the execution of the movie. The movie starts off pretty well. When it first opens up, it immediately just tells you exactly what's about to happen, which is how hectic, how surreal it's about to get. But as the movie gets on, some of the things that were executed in this movie were pretty well done. But for other times, it really wasn't nothing special. It really wasn't done all that well. I would probably have to say maybe the last thing that I did not enjoy about this movie was the fact is that this movie does not set the standard on what a sci-fi save the world type of movie should be. But at the same time, it doesn't hurt it because there have been far worse movies of sci-fi that I've seen and everything, but this is not one of them. And I would say, despite my negatives of this movie, I would say this movie, it's not that bad, but at the same time, to me, it's not the best that I've seen. It could have been a little bit better, but it's whatever. And how I would rate the Tomorrow War out of 5 stars, I would rate the Tomorrow War 2.5 stars out of 5. So thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.